kept cool, Baltimore's Weeb Ewbank gave a fiery pregame speech.
In the locker room, everybody's nervous for the first time we've ever played in the championship game in the Yankee Stadium. And Weeb's going down. Each guy, he brought each guy in. He drafted, he knew us, and he's going down, saying where we came from. He picked us up off the sandlots. He had a great speech. But about 5 or 6 of us never heard it because we were in the head throwing up. We were, we were nervous.
The Colts overcame their jitters behind the passing of Johnny Unitas, one of 13 future Hall of Famers on the field. Unitas completed 26 of 40 passes in the game. There was also fine running from Lenny Moore, number 24, who set up Baltimore's first touchdown. A short burst by number 35, Alan Amici, that gave the Colts a 7-3 advantage. Unitas and Raymond Berry, number 82, combined to make it 14-3 at halftime. And the Colts threatened to increase their lead early in the third quarter. But the New York defense waged a tenacious goal line stand that shifted the game's momentum. Veteran quarterback Charlie Connerly then took over and sparked the Giants' offense, who also benefited from a bounce that went their way. Alex Webster's recovery of Kyle Rhodes' fumble set up a touchdown. Then in the fourth period, Connerly went to work again. The scoring drive was climaxed by a touchdown pass to Frank Gifford, number 16. The Giants assumed a 17-14 lead, and late in the game, all they had to do was run out the clock. New York slowly and methodically ground out yardage to consume time. But with 58 seconds left to play, they were forced to punt after Gifford failed to convert a third and inches on a carry that appeared to have gained the precious first down.
I think they blew the call. I've carried the ball all my life in high school and college, and from at that in 58 and 6 years as a Giant. And there's a mental thing in your head when you have a third down and a yard to go or half a yard or whatever it happened to be. You know when you've made it. I didn't even look over to the yardsticks.
The thing that I remember as much about the game as anything is the feeling that we had blown the whole game, and there we were. With the game practically over, and we should have won the ball game, and there we were behind. And we were 80 yards away against, the second best defense in the National Football League.
Led by Unitas and Berry, Baltimore fought back with the dogged determination of a boxer who had rebounded off the canvas before the count of 10. Despite Unitas' performance, it was the Colts' place kicker who secured the game's date with destiny.
We always say, well, John will get us there. John will take us in. John will do something different. And lo and behold, the guy that won the game really for us was, we called him the Winky and Mumbles, was Steve Meyer, who was the kicker and also played the whole game as a linebacker, who was, I think, a hell of a football player, but Weeb didn't like him, so he wouldn't let him play.
Myra's field goal tied the score at 17-17 to usher in sudden death. Whoever scored first would win. Something electric was in the air, and time seemed to stand still for those about to make NFL history.
The game ended up in a tie. I didn't know we had a playoff. Nobody bothered to say anything about that. They hadn't had one before, so nobody said anything about it. I said, what are we going to do now? We ended up in a tie. I figured the game was over.
It was probably the first time that they had that kind of climax, so that it was going to be remembered as an outstanding game. I've got the film here. I look at it and I ask myself, how did I ever play as poorly as I played in the ball game?
You gear yourself, I think, to play in a game, and you pace yourself to play in the game, and all of a sudden, you've got to play another quarter or play until somebody scores, and we just didn't know how to handle it. And I think Baltimore was better prepared for it.
New York won the toss, but was unable to move the ball, and a Colts team beset by fatigue took over on their own 20.
I was just tiring in that game, and I started cheating on my downfield blocking. Alan Amici broke one up the middle on a trap play, and I picked that play to loaf. And if I had been there on Jimmy Patton, he would have gone all the way for a touchdown. And so I tried to hide where nobody could see me after that.
Berry, of course, did not hide, and his 12th reception of the game took Baltimore to the Giants' 8. 2 plays later, Unitas's daring pass to Jim Mutchler made it clear that the Colts were not thinking field goal.
Well, I was just thinking about a score. I was ready, you know, the field goal really never entered my mind. I never have put too much strength on field goals myself. I'd rather go for a touchdown. I knew right then and there that we had the ball game won.
Amici's touchdown terminated sudden death to give the Colts a 23-17 victory in a game that still brings out conflicting opinions.
It was one of the best football games I think ever played in that you had great tackling, you had great defenses, you had great players.
People have built it up to be such a great game, and it was a good game, but it was far from a great game.